Good evening and welcome to the Radical Sim Racing Endurance Round 5 live from Monza. I am James Parfitt. I'll be joined in the booth by the one and only Daan Pepels this evening. I'm sorry about the beginning. I thought I'd switched it over, but unfortunately, clearly I didn't hit the button enough for it to turn over. So if you've just tuned in wondering why there is no sound, there is, and we are up and running. So here at Monza, track length 5.75 kilometers and set in the city of Monza in Italy. Iconic circuit, holds the Formula 1 Grand Prix amongst others as well, and has set in 3 configurations with the oval. Currently only got 2 in use currently at the moment, the short track and the Grand Prix circuit, which is what we're on now this evening. So much love to everybody. If you are here, thank you so much for joining me. Absolutely incredible evening of racing planned for you, and what better way to start it than celebrating the fact that George Russell has taken his first ever victory in Formula 1 in Brazil, and that was absolutely amazing to watch. However, the actions of some were not amazing to watch. I think there will be some inquiries here how somebody feels they are greater than a team and the team itself. So there you go. Just bear with me, guys. I've got to change the sound on something, and I will be back shortly. Right, I'm hoping this problem has been sorted out now. If it isn't, I'm going to have to try and do some major sorting at the same time. I believe it is, and you should be able to hear the cars on track as well. I'm sorry about that, but you got to love the wonderful world of tech issues all at the same time. So the drivers this evening, we've got 26 cars on track, and this is what the current championship standings look like as of this evening. So in the pros at the moment, because we do have pros and AMs, Rudolf Nagel is leading us off in the current championship standings. So Rudolf Nagel there leading the way currently at the moment. Mike Busson in second, Daniel Sedgley in third. So well done to the top 3. Lucas Dozer is in 4th place. Kettle Larson 5th. Stephen placed 6th. David Walker 7th. Teo Sattenberg in 8th. Paul Crabb 9th. Dennis Kiriakopoulos in 10th place. Paul Clark in 11th. John McCutcheon in 12th. Henning Egg 13th. Sven Young Matheson 14th. Marnik Heister 15th. Rafael Blanco 16th. Ivan Bramer down in 17th place. In the AMs currently, we've got Paul LeMay leading away on 138, Byron Crawford on 104, Damien G on 99, Gary Truby on 82, Guy Robinson on 78, and Dave Rolliston on 75, Michael LeMay on 61, Colin Wynn on 56, Sandra Capella 43, Daniele Cascado on 42, Alfred Drew is 35, Stefan Mellis 33, Nia Gluskic 32, Graham Brown 19, Maren Griegic on 18, and Mark Axelson has yet to score. In the team championships, we've got Seymour Siri on 452, Team Radline 416, Tiger Team 223, Team Slowmo 193, IGL 174, iLounge Racing 88, Platinum Racing there as well. Not entirely sure if they're actually the correct team standards. They're not. It didn't send the ones I wanted. There we go. And in the Team Championship, Two Brothers Racing 199, BSR 181, Mudday 74, Essential Racing 43, HRT 35, and MJX is on 17. So there we go. Should be an absolutely amazing event, and one that we should see happening. Well, it should be absolutely incredible. We've got pros and AMs together. I think that on its own right is going to be absolutely outstanding. So I'm really looking forward to that. I just want to check here because I've been having some tech issues this evening, my sound levels, and I will be back shortly. Right, we go again. Hopefully all the issues have been resolved once more, and we should be back live there as well, and hopefully everybody should be good there. But we're expecting the next 90 minutes of racing, and I'm expecting some amazing action here tonight. We have got Marnik Heister is on track currently at the moment, so Marnik's there is on track, and yeah, entirely sure how he will do this evening. I'm hoping he stays away from his teammate. Is his teammate even here, actually? Because I do love leading on the fact that the guys at Platinum Racing Team do end up having a coming together. So hopefully these guys won't have a coming together and be able to stay apart from each other. But it's looking like Ivan Bremer's not here this evening. So there we go. So hopefully Marnik Heister should be able to run away all on his own and not have any issues there at all. So hopefully it's all good and everything is fine. Good evening, Colin Wynn. Hope you are well. We're going to be bringing Daan Pepels into the booth very, very shortly. He's just resolving the lovely world of live TV and issues that we are having here at the moment this evening. It seems that one thing goes wrong and everything goes wrong after that. You sort one problem out and then after that they all go wrong. So bear with us, we are going to get there, and hopefully everything should be up and running fine. But much love to everybody for being here this evening. 26 cars this evening, gunning it around Monza from AMs and pros. You can see the mix at the moment. We've got Paul LeMay doing 141.68 in the pro class. You know, and I think that's going to be absolutely incredible in the AM class, sorry. And then we've got the pro of David Walters behind him on a 141.74. So everybody's right in the mix together, and it's going to be one of them evenings that I think we're going to have to sit back and just thoroughly enjoy, I think, because the next 90 minutes is going to be absolutely incredible. So be ready for this action there, guys, as well, as we bring Daan Pepels into the booth. Dan, can you hear me? That'd be a no then. Okay, it looks like Dan is still trying to resolve his sound issues. I know he's had a problem with his microphone. We will be going into qualifying very, very shortly. They have just come to the end of practice. So hopefully by the time qualifying finishes, we'll have both of us in the booth, because that would be amazing, you know. As you can hear, not sounding my best at the moment. My throat is not doing too well, and you know, hopefully Dan will be able to get back in the booth with me this evening as well, because otherwise for the next 90 minutes you've got me talking, and yeah, the strain that's going to be, but we will get there as we go into qualifying. And we've got David Rolliston out on track at the moment, so David Rolliston here in from Tiger Team. I hope you're well, Colin Wynn. Thank you so much for joining us. Rollo, let's see what he can do. You know, down in the arms, but David Rolliston is quick, as is Paul LeMay. And it's going to be really interesting to see where these guys go in fact of the pros. You know, Daniel Sedgey, Stephen Place, Sven Young Malferson, Rudolf Nagel, David Walters, Marnik Heister, you know, Dennis Kiriakopoulos, they're all quick, but some of the pros are quick as well, and I think that's going to be the interesting thing to try and deal with there, whether or not we get traffic as well. It's all going to play a part this evening, and I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. Right. Dan, unfortunately, still looks like he's having the same issues. Potato Seagull, good evening, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope you are well and having this fabulous evening. Don't forget, guys, as well, if you are here, you can subscribe, turn on the bells for notifications. Don't forget to give the video a big old thumbs up, because that will absolutely be amazing here as we continue to grow on the JPB YouTube channel. Don't forget as well, the Simi nominations do finish this evening, so if you haven't already voted, you can do. There is a nice section 8 there that is an interesting one, basically. So if you haven't voted already, please do so and go and have a look and get your votes in, because if you don't vote by this evening, unfortunately the votes will be finished. So hopefully you guys have voted, and it's, you know, get your votes in and let's see what happens. The votes close this evening, so there we go. How do you vote? Well, I will give you that now. So there we go. It should work for you. Right. There is the link. You can click on the link there, Potato Seagull, and vote. There are other categories open as well. If you know anybody that you want to be involved or you feel deserves it, you can. I know, am I pushing for Mr. Adam Hedgecock in the best photography section as well? So that would be absolutely amazing. As Dan continues to try and resolve his sound issues. So here we go, in qualifying with Daniel Sedgley, currently at the top of the standings. He's currently on a 141.66. Matheson behind on a 142.346. So these guys are really, well, Sedgley's kind of pulling away. He's got the measure of Monza at the moment. Don't forget, this is open setup as well, so the guys can tweak with their setup. And, you know, allow them to play around a bit. You know, I had a go earlier on with the fixed setup, and let's just say I didn't last very long. It didn't go well, and all in all, it was quite horrible, really. So there we go. Right, is Dan back with us? Still no Dan. He's still working frantically in the background. So Dan is still trying hard there. So hopefully Dan will resolve these issues before we get underway, because otherwise the next 90 minutes it's gonna... You'll just hear the sultry tones of my voice. So there we go. David Rolliston currently sitting in 7th place. Marnik Heister is currently green across the board. Currently at the moment as he's going around now the final corner. Let's see what Marnix can do here as he crosses the line. Goes into 9th place overall. Kettle Larsen, Taya Satnag as well. I do a big shout out to the guys at Slow Mo. They did do the 10 hours of Suzuka. So, yeah, they got on really well. I want to give Henning Egg a big shout out, because I was giving him grief in chat as well about the fact that he didn't manage to overtake anyone, where Teo did. At the period of time I was watching, I'm sure there was more overtakes. So, you know, I'm sure there was more overtakes than that, but I just like giving Teo a little bit of grief for the fact of that one. So there you go. They finished in P22, just behind Joachim Kjod and Sven-Jan Mathiesen in 21. So slow-mo guys in 21st and 22nd. So there we go. I did overtake somebody. No, you didn't. Not at the period of time I was watching. At the time I was watching, Henning, you were fuel saving behind somebody and just sat there, and you had plenty of time to overtake someone. Don't make excuses. Right, as we can hear Dan clicking on and off. He's still trying to resolve the issues. Dan, are you there? Let's mute Dan for a minute, because otherwise he's clicking off. We've got on board with David Walters, who's 3 greens and 2 yellows. Goes into 8th place. 142, 135. 142, 135. Yeah, don't deny it, Henning. You were fuel saving at the point that I was watching. So there we go. So, no. As we got Graham Brown, he's the number 1 doing greens currently. So Graham, as he comes across the line, goes into 15th on a 142.638. And Graham Brown goes into 15th place. Look at David Harney. David Harney, new into the series this evening. David there as well, doing an absolute flyer of a lap. Just according, there he is. David Harney goes purple across the board. Goes into 19th on a 142. That's quite a surprise. 142.75. So bit of a surprise for David Harney there. I thought he was going to go. He was going to be absolutely flying, but clearly not. It goes up into 19th. We've got a minute 12. So there we go. Daniel Sedgley still out in front on a 141.346. McHutchinson, John McHutchinson, on 141.355. So let's see how this one all pans out. Yes, Sedgley. Yeah, Daniel Sedgley on top, 141 there as well. Teo Suttonherg comes around the last corner. Sandro Capella is out on track as he's coming round the final corner as well. So is Mike Buson. We've got 19 seconds remaining. What is Mike going to do as he comes across the line? Will Buson improve? He will. We'll go 142.054. Michael LeMay goes up as well, and that is the end of qualifying. Here is the grid. Daniel Sedgley is in first. John McHutchinson 0.009 back in second. Rudolf Nagel in third. Sven-Jan Mathiesen in fourth. David Walters fifth. Paul LeMay in amazing sixth place for the AMs there. Kettle Larson in seventh. Mike Buson eighth. Paul Crabb in ninth. Teo Suttonherg in 10th. David Rollison in 11th. And Stephen Place is down in 12th place. Michael LeMay 13th, Dennis Kiriakopoulos 14th, Marnik Heister 15th, Paul Clark 16th, Byron Crawford 17th, Graham Brown 18th, David Harney 19th, Gary Truby down in 20th, Maren Grieget 21st, Damien G 22nd, Sergeant Capella 23rd, Colin Wynn 24th, Stefan Mellis 25th, and Guy Robinson down in 26th place. 26 cars rushing down into turn one. Oh my. What are we in for this evening? It's going to be epic. It will be absolutely amazing. So let's stay tuned and see how this one pans out. We are waiting for the last guys to get on to track now. Sedgley's fast, but at the end, Sven Young is going to be 0.001 in front. Well, you know, the thing is, right, about that, you laugh. That could be a distinct possibility here tonight. And it's going to be one that I think will be absolutely incredible. So, Daniel Sedgley there. There is John McHutchinson. Rudolph Nagel in third. The lights are going to be on. There's a couple more to the left to get on track. Dan is still trying to resolve his sound issues. Hopefully, he will manage to get them sorted out. Want to bet? Oh, we don't condone betting here in the JPB YouTube channel, but if you two want to go at it, go for it. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Daniel Sedgley gets away. John McHutchison gets a barnstorming start next to him as well. John is looking at coming up the inside into turn 1 already. He's on the right-hand side now. Brakes hard, in he goes into first place. Further back from that, they're all bunching up here. Monik Heister trying to wiggle his way through all the traffic. Stefan Mellis is another one who's at the back as well. That was one of the racing MGKs. That was Maren Grigic. He's off at the moment. Gary Trubery's in the pits. Teja Sandberg has had an incident as well. And unfortunately for him, he's off at the same time. But let's have a look at the Teja Sandberg incident. Is there at the back, goes into turn 1. Oh, they just all kind of bunch up, and it's kind of a bumper cars effect, really, that started that off. But John McHutchison, is currently leading us away here in first place. John from Team Radline with Daniel Sedgley behind, Rudolph Nagel, Kettle Larson, David Waters, Paul Crabb, Paul LeMay, Sven Young Matheson as well. So let's see how this one all pans out. Colin Wynn has been involved in an incident. He has dropped down the order. He's at the back of the field. It currently is Colin. But in the mix, Monik Heister there having going past Damien G. These guys coming in through Ascari and leading up to the Alboreto Parabolica, as it is now aptly named. But I think we're going to be heading down, guys, here for the first time. Down this start finish straight, and we're going to be absolutely watch this gap come down. It's going to come down quick, so be aware. Daniel says his gap 0.3 at the moment. Now 2. See it on the right hand, on the left hand side of your screen there at the top. 0.1. We're going to be under it. Oh, he's backed out. Sedgley is backed out. Sven Young Matheson trying to make the move on Paul LeMay. That doesn't work out either. David Harney coming through. He's up behind Paul Clark at the moment. And Byron Crawford there trying to defend from Stefan Mellis, but it looks like Stefan's going to make... Ooh, doesn't get it this time. So well done for them guys. They made it through all cleanly. So there we go. All right, as we go racing on now, John McHutchison still out in front. Sven Young Matheson and Paul LeMay are literally nose to tail currently at the moment. What can Sven Young do here? Paul LeMay leading the pros, leading the AMs. I heard a slight little squeak from Dan there. Dan, are you back? Nothing. I can hear him speak, but I just can't hear him at all. So that's never good there from Dan Beatles, as he's still trying to resolve his tech issues at the moment. Fighting with his microphone as Sven Young Matheson goes past Paul LeMay. Now we go down into the Parabolica now. Line of cars there. You can see Michael LeMay trying to make a move past Stephen Place. Michael for his brother, Paul's brother. And then it goes back behind Stephen Place there as he goes back into where he was before. The gap up front now out at 0.7 at the moment. Rudolf Nagel another further back than that, and then Larson 0.3 behind him. There was another squeak from Dan. That is Gary Truby coming out the pits. So Monik Heister is also now out. What did Marnix do? This is what Marnix did. Oh! Whoa! One of the slow-mos just make it through. This was the initial start of the Marnix Heister incident. Goes over the gravel, car snaps, boom, round he goes. There was Damien G. Straight into the side of that very upset looking car there. Damien G has got, well, his body's on top of his car. So unfortunately for Damien G, that was a trip straight back to the pits. John McHutchison still leading the way. Paul Crabb and Sven-Göran Mathiesen are slowly getting closer together, with David Walters from the Tiger team there closing right up behind him at the moment as they go on this run down into the Parabolica we go. Taya Satterberg was also involved with the Damien G and Marnik Heister incident, and just managed to get through without any issues. So Taya is still out on track, but currently all the way down in 20th place. So 26 cars on track. We've got 25 now, as Marnix has dropped out of the field. So 25 cars, these guys going 3 wide there as well, avoiding Damien G coming out of the pits. David Walls on the left, Sven Young on the right. Oh, they go through 2 wide, round through turn 1. And then off into the second variante, and that was Sven-Göran Mathiesen through there. David Harney, sorry, and Dennis Kiriakopoulos. Oh, here, Harney looks like he may have got a little bit of a slide on. That's released Paul Clark. Guy Robertson is now chasing down Byron Crawford, who's chasing down Sandro Capella. Looks like Capella's got a very slow run out of turn 1, and that's going to leave him right under attack from Byron Crawford. Byron's looking to go up round the outside of this run down into the second variante now. Crawford on the right, Sandro on the left. Oh! Sandro looked like he did lose it on the way in, but Byron now is under attack from Stefan Mellis. Colin Wynn is slowly making his way through the field. He's up 4 places, so he's keeping it nice and steady. But that did not look good for Sandro Capella. I'm wondering if he locked up before he actually was heading off there. Someone have a look back. But keep an eye on Capella on the left-hand side. I think he's already out of control. And into Byron Crawford he goes. So poor Sandro Capella there. Colin Wynn now is trying to get onto the back of Stefan Mellis. Byron Crawford's had an incident and is currently off in the gravel. Back up front, John McHutchison, Daniel Sedgley, Ketel Larson and Rudolf Nagel. And then behind that, Sven-Göran Mathiesen is trying as well. Is Dan back in the booth? Right. Dan is working frantically in the background, trying to resolve his issues. That was gross. Whoa, says Daniele Cascado. Hey, Daniele, hope you're feeling well. How's the shoulder doing, bud? Hope to see you back on track very, very shortly, as John McHutchison is now being chased down from Daniel Sedgley. I think the interesting thing here is whether or not these guys are going to be able to make these tyres go all the way through. Now, we've seen it a couple of times with Rudolf Nagel, and he's not always been able to make it all the way through. He's been able to make it all the way through on one set of tyres. It's whether or not now he's going to be able to do it this evening. I think that's going to be the interesting thing. Go on, Sedgley. Here we go on this run down into the Alberetta Parabolica now. Sedgley's not going to get it done this time. Ketel Larson is not going to get it done either. And Paul LeMay is closing down on Mike Bousson, and Paul is having a barnstorming race, as is Paul Clark and Dennis Kiriakopoulos. A big shout out to them. David Harney now goes up the inside. That was Damien G, so that wasn't for position, that was back marker. John McHutchison now. Sedgley's closer, nothing doing. Rudolf Nagel, Ketel Larson, nothing doing. Sven-Göran Mathiesen sends it in on Paul Crabb. Paul LeMay there, nothing doing. Further back with David Rolliston. Here we go. I'm sure Damien G is going to back out of that. He will not run David Harney. No point there. Completely different lap from Damien G. It's Going better, thanks. I should have come back in late December, January. I should come. Oh, good, man. I'm glad to hear it. I miss you, bro. Be good to see you on track. You know, between you not being on and Niad disappearing, it's been tough. We haven't seen any of the Mad A boys on track. So Dennis Kyrgiopoulos now out the back of Michael LeMay. Dennis here. Looks like Teo Sandberg is unfortunately out of the race as well. And this is why the man that passed everybody in Suzuka, unfortunately, looks like he's not going to be passing anyone in Monza. Okay, just pulls over and stops it on the side of the track there. So I hope Teo is okay. So maybe if somebody can get a message to him and just check that he is all right, that'd be amazing. Because that's unlike Teo just to stop on track. However, Sedgley now, here we go. Mark Hutchinson, the gap's literally closer than it's ever been before. Where's Sedgley going to go now? Sedgley's going to be looking at trying to take the inside down into turn one. Into the first variante they go side by side. That's Sedgley through. Sedgley takes the lead. Kel Larson, nothing, can't get through. Paul LeMay chasing down Stephen Place, can't keep through. And at the moment, Dennis Kyrgiopoulos coming down now behind Michael LeMay. And nothing doing there either. So Daniel Sedgley has taken the lead, but he's not getting rid of John McHutchison. So then he's not getting rid of John McHutchison currently. Is Dan back in the booth with us? Still nothing. So guys, this looks like you might have me for the whole 90 minutes as we try and resolve the tech issues for Dan, unless he can do something drastically magical in the background. But Colin Wynn now going around, trying to go past Evan Mellis. This is coming out of that run now, going into the first Lesmos. Want to give a big shout out to iLoungeRacing.co.uk. Please go and check them out as well. Do some amazing sim equipment. So if you fancy picking yourself up a new sim rig, check out iLoungeRacing.co.uk. Run by the one and only Mr. Paul Clark. We are looking at doing a media day at the showroom of iLounge Racing in January as well. That's still in the talks at the pipelines at the moment, as we can see Dennis Kyrgiopoulos and Paul Clark now. Clark's on the left-hand side. Sedgley's even closer. He's got McHutchinson coming right beside him at the moment. Is John going to go up the inside? Not this time. Is Kel Larson? No. Is Brousson and LeMay? No. Paul Crabb? No. Dennis Kyrgiopoulos? Absolutely. Dennis there going up, trying to get up the inside of Paul Clark on that run down into turn one. Here we go. How is this going to work out? Is there going to be room left? Paul leaves him room on the outside. Dennis leaves him room as well. In there, in the mix is Gary Truby. Gary's a lap down after his incident. So unfortunately for Gary Truby, he's kind of got swamped by everybody at the moment. But Daniel Sedgley still leads us away. It's looking like Dan's voice, Dan's sound issues are terminal. So it's looking like Dan's voice issues is a terminal fix that he cannot get resolved at the moment. I'm just waiting for the move by Kel Larson. He's not made that move yet, and I'm half expecting it to come. I really am. Dennis Kyrgiopoulos and Paul Clark fighting through Ascari. That was the scene of my accident earlier on, where somebody comes straight into the side of me. Colin Wynn looking like he'd had an incident. Sedgley and McHutchison again. Here we go. McHutchison's not going to do it this time around. What about Kel Larson? He needs to be careful. He's got Svenja climbing right up behind him at the moment. He's got Matheson there. Paul LeMay is the, well, he's the two brothers between the red line sandwich. Paul there with goes Stephen Place, goes past him now. Paul still leading the AMs and leading the AMs over his brother by about 5 seconds. So there we go. But Daniel Sedgley and John McHutchison battling away. And we've got an hour and 15 minutes on the clock at the moment. Right. These guys battle off. Kjell Larsen and Rudolf Nagel still going. I'm surprised he's not actually made that move yet. I was half expecting Kjell to make that move. I'm on the edge of my seat, says Potato. Well, that's always a good thing, Potato. But we will look at bringing some of the other action as well. We can see there Sedgley and McHutchison are going to flash through the bottom of your screen. Currently at the moment, further back. Still not made that move. What about Dennis Kyrgiopoulos? He's still trying to chase down Paul Clark. They have swapped positions. Clark did manage to get in front. So Sedgley holding it down into first place. Here's the move from Larsen. Larsen and Nagel. Larsen makes it through. What is this man going to do, though? Sven-Olof Mathiesen now. Here we go. There is Sven-Olof behind us. Oh, here he comes. Oh, he looks like he's got a little bit of a better run. Through Lesmo 1 we go. There is the nose of Paul Crab behind us. Behind Sven-Olof Mathiesen. Round through Lesmo 2. On this run now, all the way down into Ascari. Here comes Sven-Olof Mathiesen. Car number 77. Pushing right up behind us now at the moment behind. We're on the gearbox of Rudolf Nagel, currently sitting in 4th place. Sven-Olof's nose is getting closer and closer. Here he comes. He's got a better run out of Ascari than Nagel did. Is Sven-Olof going to be going off on the left-hand side very shortly? Is he going to make this move into the Parabolica now? Sven-Olof's coming in. Nagel squeezes him a little bit. Makes it through. Nagel's now under pressure from Paul Crab. Can Crab get through currently at the moment? That's going to be the interesting thing up front. Sedgley and McHutchison, 0.2 seconds. That was the gap as these guys go rushing down into turn 1. McHutchison in the yellow, Sedgley in the blue. I don't think McHutchison is in any position to be trying to make that move. Sven-Olof closes up on the back of Larsen. Paul Clark, David Rolliston now. Paul Clark from iLounge Racing. Heading up the inside. Here he goes. Is he going to make this through? Yes, he does. Paul Clark up 4 places. So well done to him, but look at this battle now. These 4 absolute storming gladiators on track. Kjell Larsen, Sven-Olof Mathiesen, Rudolf Nagel and Paul Crab going at each other around Lesmo 2. This is going to be an interesting one as well because of the pit stops involved in this. See how this pans out now as these guys are racing round. We are on lap 11 and we've still got an hour and 11 minutes left remaining. You can see there Sedgley and McHutchison fighting it out at the bottom of your screen, but Larsen, Mathiesen, Nagel and Crab are fighting it out at the top end of your screen. Behind that you can see Rolliston there. That was David Walters actually from the Tiger team. David there has got, oh, that's actually a back marker of Byron Crawford. So David's not going to be worrying about him. But Daniel has got to worry about this man, John McHutchison, as they're going down into turn 1. I think John is doing an excellent fuel-saving job, shall we say. I don't think he's going to be making that move. No, nothing doing Dover back on that one either. Stephen Place. Got Paula May for company. And David Rolliston is still trying to chase down Paul Clark. Rollo there, chasing down Clark. Nothing doing on there either. You see the gaps materializing on the left-hand side. They are close. Let's see how this one works out. Can this one work out here? Can John close down on Sedgley? Crab and Nagel. Their gaps plummeted right the way down on this run. Under the bridge we go, up into the Scari. Nothing there at the moment. Fuel saving. Well, you're laughing, right? He ain't going to have much choice, is he? Because he's been within range. And again, John McCutcheon is in range again. You know, if he wants to make this move, he can. Let's see how he does. But I think you'll find that he's just stationary. I don't think he's looking at really making that switch over. Like, he could do it there. Look, Matheson's done it over Larson. But you say about laughing that McCutcheon might not, but clearly he feels he is, because he is not making that move that you would kind of expect from him. So, you know, there's no body language of the car that says McCutcheon wants to go through. There's nothing aggressive. And I do talk about the aggressiveness of the body language of the car, and I think you'll have to see what I mean here. Like David Harney here is physically trying to go for that move down into turn one on Guy Robinson, right? Robinson's now up 8, but if you look at the language of the car, there is no aggression from John McCutcheon. There's nothing there that's showing me that he's intent on making this move, and I don't think he is intent on making the move. That's the thing. I think he's so comfortable sat behind him, he's got no reason to. He knows if he stays in the draft with Sedgley will just pull him along. Sedgley is quick. You know, these guys are doing 142s. So, you know, they're not crazy. They're not crazily slow. So I think from their point of view, I think, you know, if John had that aggressive nature about the way his car is lined, like, that's just kind of a nose peak that we've seen going into Parabolica. That isn't what the aggressive nature that we would expect to see from John. And if we listen here, lift, 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 nothing. So now tell me he's not fuel saving. Stephen Place up behind his teammate Mike Busson. Tell me now he's not fuel saving. Because clearly he is. He's desperate, he's just staying behind Sedgley. There's no reason for him to make that move. You know, while these guys are filling out 1.8, you know, gaps over the battling crew of Sven-Jan Larsen, Rudolf Nagel and Paul Crab. There's no reason for him to be making moves. Oh, that's me. I'm not saying just to be like, you know, you don't need to apologize to me. Honestly, it's fine. I'm just saying from his nature in the car and knowing what John's like, you know, when there's a move on, John will make it. And the fact that there isn't a move on, you can hear in the car that he is clearly sitting there fuel saving behind him. So, yeah, he's obviously trying to stretch out as much as he can. So they do only get one fast repair. So I think that's because of the likes that we've seen Gary Truby drop out at the bottom there as well. He was involved in another incident here. Coming down into the second Variante. Doesn't stop the car. Oh, ouch. Good job, but that is not real life for Gary Truby, because that would be a backache all day. Here we go. Now John's decided he's had enough. He's moved out on the right-hand side. John is now through. So now it's going to be the turn of Sedgley to swap the favours. You know, there's no need for Sedgley to push it now. He might as well hang on. Not that I've ever seen Daniel ever feel safe. So I'm probably expecting him to come straight back at John McHutchison as much as he can. No. Here's another one that was feathering, and the reason he was feathering is because he's got to try and get some laps back. John's already got at least a lap and a half, if not more, in fuel saved up. So Sedgley's now in the boat of whether or not he decides to do what John did and try and cover him off with the saving of the fuel, or whether or not he now pushes and tries to go for it as fast as he can. So from that perspective, it's going to be interesting to see. We'll stay on board. We're here. Lifting, down through the gears we go, third gear. Keeping the car fourth in the mid-corner. Should be fifth on the exit, there we go. I don't know if Sedgley's really got, you know, whether or not he will be able to fuel save. Yes, literally, cut dead. Going into the Parabolica. So Sedgley's now looking at trying to cover him off, because that's what he's got to try and do. He can't give John all of that time back. He's got to try and cover some of it off. Yep. Clutching, killed the engine, and now just rolled around turn one. So I don't think Sedgley now has got the intent to make that move either, and is now looking behind him, where Matheson, Larson, Nagao and Crab are starting to open up a little bit of a gap, as is Buson. He's got chasing down David Walters. Oh, David Harney made the move past Guy Robinson. He's going to be spinning this up on the exit. Yep. David Harney spins the back end after doing all that work to pick up Guy Robinson. That allows Colin Wynn up 7 places now. Guy Robinson up 10. They are the biggest movers there from the backside of the grid. So here we go. Stephen Place, Mike Buson. So these guys come rushing under the bridge out towards Ascari. Mike's pulled over and let Stephen through. It's now Stephen's turn to go and have a go at David Walters. Got a Sedgley McHutchison battle still materialising again. There is Daniel Sedgley there. Right there. Ooh. Nope. Sedgley's no intent on making that move whatsoever. It's Kettle Larson with Rudolph Nagao right behind us. Stephen Place here. Right behind David Walters as well. Michael LeMay. Oh, there's a big puff of smoke down there. Michael LeMay and Paul Clark. LeMay on the left. Paul Clark on the right, and Paul there, oh, goes in a little bit, he manages to survive. David Walters does not look like he's going to be able to survive from Stephen Place, so into the second variante we go. That's allowed Stephen Place through. What can Buson do? Coming through at Lesmo 1 and then into Lesmo 2 we go. David Walters just trying to get his head down and move on. It's tough when the car is so close behind you at the moment, like Buson is. Walters goes all the way to the left-hand side. He's hugging that white line. Can he make this save around Ascari, though? Didn't work out for me too earlier on in the day when I had a torpedo on my inside. Let's pick up the leaders as they come around Parabolica. Here we go again now, this second run with an hour left. There we go. That's actually, is he going to make the move? No. The trouble with him not making that move, look behind him. Sven-Göran Larsen and Nagao have all nearly caught back up to these two. It's going to be an interesting fight here. We've already had a prediction from Henning Haig that Matheson will finish 0.001 ahead. Now, if you don't know what he's on about, that's because earlier on, not earlier on Friday, these guys finished 0.001 apart, and Matheson took it. And yeah, it was so close, unbelievably close, but an incredible race as well. There you go. I hope that one, not quite sure why he did that. I hope it's back now. So, there we go. There is Sedgley and back end of John McHutchinson. Here he comes again. Sedgley's looking at repaving the paver. Sedgley goes through. He's seen the cars get closer and closer and decided enough is enough. I've got to go because here comes Matheson and here comes Kjell Larsen. Just let me know that the car audio is back. McHutchinson now running too wide through the Varianti. Matheson's trying to get involved as well. They're side by side. Going into the first Lesmo. How's this going to turn out? Sedgley's still got his nose in. Still got his nose in. Slots in behind now. So McHutchinson, Sedgley, Matheson, Larsen. Backwards and forwards. Oh. The timed up for 5 seconds, Potato. I wonder what did you get up to? Here we go now with McHutchinson, Sedgley behind him currently at the moment. Around the Parabolica. This is going to be almost like a draft train. Sedgley now settling in as he's coming down. It's coming down. McHutchinson is on the inside. Sedgley on the left-hand side. He goes again down into turn one. Is he going to get this job done this time of years? Matheson didn't quite make it through either. So Matheson's now got to try and have a go at John with Kjell Larsen right behind him at the same time. Further down the order there is Buson chasing down Stephen Place and Dennis Kiriakopoulos and David Rollison. Kiriakopoulos is close enough down into turn one to be making this maneuver. Kiriakopoulos pulls out on the right-hand side. This is going to be Place. Rollison this time, sorry, down a position. Rollison down into 14th. Completely different class. Dennis Kiriakopoulos is pro. Rollison is in the AM, so there's no real reason for Rollison to fight him. Colin Wynn. It's going along nicely, up 7 places. 56 minutes remaining. There we go. into the parabolica they come, these guys. 3 amazing drivers. And Cal Larson coming up as well. There's 4 amazing gladiators on track at the moment. Sedgley, McCutcheon, Matheson. Sedgley looks like he's pulled away from the draft. Matheson looks like he's going to be making a move. Oh, he's almost pushing McCutcheon down the straight coming into turn 1. Oh, Matheson. Oh, big check up there. Oh, McCutcheon has got a slide on that to allow Matheson to run him on through the inside of Pisano. On this run down into the second variante we go now. Matheson in the front, McCutcheon behind him, Larson behind that as well. Matheson is up into second place. Larson is sat behind John McCutcheon at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see what he's going to be able to do here with John in front. This guy's come running up into Ascari, 54 minutes remaining. Oh, Matheson's gone round. Svengen's gone round. He caught the inside curb on the entrance into Ascari. He's going to be down in 6th place because of the gap down to Stephen Place. But Sven-Young Matheson caught the inside curb of Ascari. Round he goes. Manages to keep the car away from everybody else, but unfortunately for Sven-Young, he's dropped down the order now, unfortunately for him. So Kjetil Larsen is chasing down McCutcheon. The gap is coming down. We're on now as well. There goes Colin Wynn. I believe that was coming out of the pits. Larson not attacking this time round. Sedgley does look like he's got about a 2-second gap at the moment. Larson, Nagel, Crab further down the order, Michael LeMay, Paul Clark. These guys are nose to tail as well as they're coming through the first chicane on this run out now on the Bassano. Up into the second variante we're going to go. This is Michael, Paul's brother. Paul is 1 place in front of Paul Clark. John McCutcheon under so much pressure. You can't even see the car of Kjetil Larsen there. 52 on the clock now. What is he going to be able to do now? Is he going to be able to close back up again? Larson now chasing down McCutcheon. He's got 2 temps on the clock as he enters down in to the long start finish straight we go. Sedgley's used the draft of Marin Grigic to pull him along. John's trying to do the same. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. This back mark is going to come into play. McCutcheon on the inside, Larson on the outside. Not enough room there. McCutcheon will get the better exit during taking a natural racing line with Nagel and also Crab behind him. But that car there with Marin Grigic really kind of nearly played a massive part in this race. There we go. See how these guys get on here. Whoa, Sedgley has flown away. Nice to have you back, Potato. Welcome back. Yeah, he's opened up about a 2.21 gap at the moment. These guys are fighting, which is not helping. They're slowing down at the moment as well. Sedgley's last time, 1:42.85. McCutcheon was quicker. There is McCutcheon and Larson. There is Sedgley. Simracing Hutchison was quicker over lap 22. This is their lap time history. The last 4 laps are on the bottom of your screen with all 3 of the runner and riders up front. Sedgley, McHutchison, Larson. Oh, Larson's made a mistake. Larson's made a mistake. That's allowed Kel Larson to come, Rudolf Nagel and Paul Crabb to come through. Running down the start finish straight now. Kel Larson looking to going up the inside of Paul Crabb. Nothing doing at the moment. Oh, he locks up. He locked up, looked like the car was sliding. He saved it, Kel Larson, but he managed to lock up and lose 2 places all at the same time. David Rolliston chasing down Dennis Kiriakopoulos. What is Kiriakopoulos going to be able to do here? It's got to take the inside line from Rolliston, surely, unless Rollo's not going to be making that move. Nope, nothing doing there. Paul Crabb, Rudolf Nagel, Kel Larson now. How G doing? Damien G is 1 lap down. There he is. Currently down in 22nd position. 1 lap behind. He did get involved, and I will try and find it. Where was G's incident? He had an incident here. This was the incident with Marnik Heister. Marnik comes back into track. G goes there. Just misses his tail. And then that happens. Quite bizarre. Never seen that happen before. It was almost like bucking the donkey game. Bucking Bronco, and all of a sudden it flies up into the air. And that's what happened to Damien G. So he had to tow back to the pits. And unfortunately, is now a lap down in 21st place. So there you go. I don't think Rolliston is really making that visual intent to have a go at Kiriakopoulos. I think the mixed classes is probably saving him currently at the moment. Because I think if this was solo class, I think that would have been Rolliston having a go there. Further down, Byron Crawford trying to make the move on the inside of Graham Brown. So here we go. That is your top 5 currently in the class. As you can see, Nagel, Crabb still having this battle with Larson behind him. In the background there, you can see Sven-Jöng Mattsson. He's trying to recover back through after catching the inside curve of Ascari. Yeah, the gap's down to, well, it's down to 1.4. McCutcheon is slowly peeling away the gap from Rudolf Nagel. That's the thing, once you're in clean air and you're not being fighting like Matheson was with McCutcheon, then it allows him to clear up, push forward. And as you can see here now, Michael LeMay is in the pits. Michael LeMay in the pits there. We'll see how long this pit stop will be. Sumak Hutchison, and they're just kind of really opening up the gap now to Rudolf Nagel, and I think that's going to be the thing that Rudolf has got to be looking at trying to do, is kind of really showing that he can pull away, you know, because he's got to try and open up the gap now as well. And that's important currently in his current situation, because he needs to really catch John, and he's not doing that at the moment, partly because he's got Crab right behind him. So Nagel now trying to fight his way past Crab, and Larsson's dropped it back a little bit. Maren Grigic is into the pits. Mike Buson chasing down Stephen Plays. Got Paul LeMay into the pits as well. So there we go. Rolleston leading the arms away at the moment, with May and Clark in the pits. Pit lane time at the moment is looking round about the 58-minute mark. Oh, Stephen Place in front of Buson there, diverting off track. Nagel, Crab, Larsson, there's Matheson in the background. Matheson's not giving up, he's still going. 58.717. G up to 19th. Yes, Damien G has moved up into 19th position. Stephen Mellis, Byron Crawford, Maren Grigic, Sandra Capella. I know Maren Grigic has had a incident that's allowed G through. Sandra Capella also went off track and jumped to the pits as well. So that's how Damien G has managed to get up into the position he is in currently at the moment. So fair play to him. Did manage to carry on, and is moving along quite nicely in 19th place. So there we go. Still got 21 cars on track. Wynn, Brown, G, Mellis and Crawford are all a lap down. See what's going to happen here. Nagel now. Paul Crab. I think from Crab's point of view, he's got to make a decision whether or not he's going to cover him off, or whether or not he's going to be looking at coming into the pits. Now you can see McHutchison has got closer to Sedgley, as has Crab's got closer to Nagel. There is Paul Crab behind us. Ooh, close him up. Crab's drifted wide. I think you might be right there, Potato. I've got to be honest. Crab's into the pits. Crab is into the pits, the first of the front runners to make that pit stop. McHutchison coming back through. Daniel Sedgley for company. Gaps down a half a second. I think it could be the next lap. They will be coming down, having a battle coming down into Variante Alti, the second. Rudolf Nagel's now got a little bit of clean air, so it'd be interesting to see what Rudolf Nagel can do here in third place, whether or not he's going to be able to try and start eating out time. He has got Larsson behind him, as Kyriakopoulos is into the pits as well. Damien G is in the pit box. I wonder from Kiriakopoulos' point of view what he would do about whether or not he's going to be looking at taking tyres, because I think that's going to be the interesting thing. Because I know there was a debate about tyres and whether or not they were going to be looking at taking them. They're coming towards the end of their pit stop. I think they're probably all going to survive without taking tyres. Oh no, Kiriakopoulos is up in the air. As I say that, he goes up into the air. Now he is taking tyres. Damien G did not. G did not. Oh, this one, it's going to be this lap. Here we come. McHutchison back up behind Sedgley again. He was released into clean air. Oh, no. He held it, but he's dropped him back out. 1.4 seconds. Oh, big puff of smoke from McHutchison's car there. He held it, but he dropped back. He's now lost 1.6. Big sigh of relief there for Daniel Sedgley because he was looking like he was going to be coming under attack. David Walters in the pits at the bottom. Leaders have not yet pitted. Everybody down to David Rolliston. Yeah, Rolliston in 8th is the last of the guys that have not pitted with 39 minutes remaining. So 39 minutes remaining, and David Rolliston and everybody above have not pitted. So there we go. Now this is your closest battle on track at the moment. Stephen Place and Mike Bousson. Bousson there with Kiriakopoulos. That is actually back marker. And that's one thing you never thought you would actually hear say was Kiriakopoulos as a back marker. Sedgley and Larson are in the pits. Now the question will be whether or not Sedgley is going to take tyres. Now I'll give him a minute because the tyre stops happens at the end. The boys from Radline there, Place and Bousson. Oh, he's tucked right in the corner. That's Kettle Larson behind him. Maybe we go on a nose with Kettle. We'll be able to see if Sedgley's car moves up. Nope. He did not go up into the air. Neither did Kettle Larson. So neither Sedgley or Larson took tyres. So that's probably going to tell me that the others are not going to take tyres either. So McHutchison, Nagel, Sven Young, Matheson, Place, Bousson probably are not going to take tyres either. Your predictions might be correct. They may well be if John McHutchison goes into the pits very shortly. There's McHutchison away from Nagel. There is Bousson. He's coming up to the back end of Stephen Place. As I say, I don't think there's going to be anything going on there. Here we go. John McHutchison's going to be looking at going round again. One more time. What about Rudolf Nagel? Yep. Sven Young Matheson. He is off as well. What about Stephen Place and Mike Bousson? Are they going to be pitting? Depends on what their fuel run is. Don't forget they are on open setup. They can dictate what fuel they start with. Nope and nope. So Sedgley there, who went into the pits and still manages to clear David Rolliston. And Rolliston's not pitted yet. So Rolliston's not pitted, but that is Paul Crabb behind us. So Larson goes past Rolliston there. So Larson is now up, he's 7th in class. Stephen Place is 4th in class. So there we go. Rolston is in the pits, which is what we expected. David Harney is another one who hasn't pitted as of yet. David's now coming round up into the Parabolica. I wonder if he's going to be nipping in, because everybody behind him he has pitted. And the average pit line time, if you don't take tyres, is about 48. And Dennis Kiriakopoulos, who did take tyres, because we saw him go up in the air, is 1 minute 24. So he went into the pits. So Harney there, going in, the smart move there for David Harney. Rolliston is on his way out. He has not taken tyres. David Walters did take tyres and is in a 1:14 pit stop. So it'll be interesting to see Sven Young and McHutchinson. This is where we were. Sven Young. There is Daniel Sedgley on the right-hand side. You can see him on the track map. McHutchinson is there. Here comes Sedgley. Sedgley's coming around the Parabolica. There he is. McHutchinson's on his way out. There's McHutchinson. Where's Sedgley? Sedgley's there. Sedgley's got past him. Sedgley jumped McHutchinson into the pits and is gone through. Kjell Larsen jumped Matheson. So now it's just Buson and Nagel that have not pitted. Stephen Place is on his way out. He did not take tyres either. So Daniel Sedgley got the jump on John McHutchinson and is now in front. So there we go. Manages to do it with 33 minutes remaining. Guy in front now, that's Guy Robinson. In front of us. Rudolf Nagel is now in the pits as well. So Rudolph there. Sitting in the pit lane, and here we go, Sedgley. McHutchinson, you know, Nagel here may have just got, he's got about another 20 seconds, and these guys are just coming around the Parabolica. This could be another really close exit. Nagel's out. Nagel's on his way out. Rudolf Nagel is coming out now. Oh, here we go. There goes Robinson on the bottom of the screen now. You're going to see Sedgley. Oh, McHutchinson's just cleared Sedgley, but Nagel's cleared them all. Rudolf Nagel is out in front. He cleared John McHutchinson. He cleared Daniel Sedgley. And he's managed to stay ahead of Kjell Larsen and Sven Young Matheson. But at the moment, Rudolf Nagel, what a barnstorming pit stop. He was a second quicker than the guys behind. Pit stop time, he was 3 seconds quicker. There are your pit times on the left-hand side. This is their actual stop time. You can see now Rudolf Nagel 20.4, McHutchinson 23.5. But Rudolf Nagel out in front. They've got the back marker there, Guy Robinson. Robinson's going to try and get through the Ascari before he thinks about moving over. But John McHutchinson, Daniel Sedgley, both got jumped by Rudolf Nagel, who's going to pick up the draft here of Guy Robinson. He's going to leave him stuck behind him as much as he can. John's trying to make a move into the Parabolica. I bet you from Nagel's point of view, he's probably sat in the car going, yes, I didn't catch Rolliston in the Parabolica. I'm going to catch him down the straight though, but I might as well use his draft, I think. As Guy Robinson now on the left-hand side. See the looming leaders. He's pulling Nagao along, really. McCutcheon's on the inside. He wants his lead. Gets it done this time around. Robinson's still playing a part at the moment, whether or not he knows who's behind him. But currently he's still playing a part in this race with these leaders. He's realised now, as he moves over out the way, there goes John McCutcheon, Rudolph Nagao and Daniel Sedgley. This battle is going to be interesting. Yeah, I think that's one way I'm going to pick it up on it. None of them have changed tyres, I might add. You can tell there's tyre stoppers. So the tyre stoppers currently are David Walters. We've got Dennis Kyrgiakopoulos, Graham Brown, Colin Wynne, Guy Robinson as well, and Stefan Mellis, and looking like Sergio Capella. So, you know, Capella's out actually, so that's not going to really matter, but Stefan Mellis is the last one to take tyres because their pit stops times are like 1 minute 22. So if they haven't taken tyres, their pit stop times are 49 seconds, which is what you can see there on the left-hand side. But if they have taken tyres, it's over the minute mark. So Waters, Brown, Wynne and Robinson and Mellis are all looking like they've taken tyres. McCutcheon now is looking at clearing off down the road. He's trying to open up the gap to Rudolph Nagao, who's got the draft, who behind that has got Daniel Sedgley. Sedgley really needs to pass Nagao now. He needs to pass Nagao. So I don't think Nagao's got the pace to stay with McCutcheon here at Monza. Any other track, and I'd give Nagao the biggest opportunity ever, but I don't think here at Monza he's quite got the pace. This guy coming into the second variante now. Daniel Sedgley's dropping a little bit back into place currently at the moment. McCutcheon, Nagao, Sedgley, Matheson, Larson. Sven Young past Larson. And this is how it happened. It's going to be on the run down into turn one. Matheson on the right-hand side, Larson on the left. And Matheson goes through. There's your top four in front of them. They're only 4 seconds back at the moment. Gap actually has just got out to nearly 5. Sedgley's got to do it. He's got to do it because otherwise he's going to get stuck. That's Colin Wynne in front of us. Colin looks like he's just about to be lapped. It's got to come this time. He cannot not come at him. Here we go. Sedgley almost looks like he's putting his head down like a Tour de France rider. There he goes. Oh, is he going to get a car stopped? Oh, Daniel Sedgley manages to stop the car. But boy, oh boy, I reckon he was having a good old go in that. Good evening, Mr. Hedgecock. Welcome in. Missing some absolute amazing action here from John McCutcheon, Daniel Sedgley, Rudolph Nagao, Matheson and Larson. But at the moment, it's a three-way battle after the pit stops here. McCutcheon, Sedgley and Nagao. Further back from that, we've got Larson and Matheson still locked in a battle, about 7 tenths back at the moment. And then David Walters and Paul LeMay. Don't forget, LeMay is from the AMS. He's leading the AMS currently as well. There is Paul LeMay there in front of us from Two Brothers Racing. His brother is racing, is Michael, driving around. Somewhat kind of on his own, really. He's got 10 seconds in front and 10 seconds behind. So there we go. I would have been here earlier, but I had to feed my World of Warcraft addiction. Oh, fair enough, mate. No worries with that. How did that work out for you? Did you manage to raid a dungeon? I think that's what they do in World of Warcraft. I don't really play that, I've got to be honest. So, McCutcheon now has got Daniel Sedgley, and Sedgley is looming. 2 attempts. They're slowly dropping Nagel back. Oh, the overspeed here. Here we go. This battle is going to get spicy once again. Oh no, Damien G. That's Dennis Kira. Damien jumped the line early there. Oh, nearly stops the car going round. Yes, I raided a dungeon. Good. Did you win? Did you get it? Did you beat the boss? Whatever it is you do in World of Warcraft. I play Path of Exile. It's a little bit more, I don't know, to be fair. I'm stuck at level 86 at the moment. Can't seem to get any higher, which is a little bit annoying. But Sedgley now, Rudolph Nagel behind him. Can Nagel come back at these two, or is this it now? And these guys are going to go back into the positions as they were earlier on with that gap at the front that they didn't have. Or can Nagel come through as they go through Ascari? Through Ascari they go. McCutcheon's getting the draft from Colin Wynn, coming on the run down into the Parabolica. So that's probably saving him from an attack at Sedgley at the moment. Wynn now really wants to, to do John McCutcheon a favour, he kind of needs to stay in front of him. Because at the moment, they're coming around to lap. This is everybody in 16th place at the moment, Colin Wynn. In front of that, we've got Graham Brown there, the car number 63. Colin moves over sensibly. He's going to lift and allow these guys to come through. There we go. And slots back in behind Rudolph Nagel. There you go. That is how to manage blue flags in iRacing. If you have not seen that before, if you do not know what to do when you're under blue flags, that is a prime example. Pull to the right-hand side and let them through. Probably not suggest going down into turn 1 side by side with a leader. Trying to hold on to your 20th position when you're under a blue flag. So if anybody needs to clarify the rule of blue flags and how to act under blue flags, please just rewind that little bit and have a look at see what Colin Wynn done. Let's see how these guys cope with Graham Brown now. They've left everybody up into 16th. To be honest, yes, there is. If you're going to ask me who, I can't tell you. But yes, there is some that drive in VR. So here comes John McCutcheon. He's going to use Graham Brown for a tow. Graham's noticed him again. Another one you see under blue flags. You lift and allow the leaders through before they enter into the corners. Oh, McCutcheon's got a slide on. He got a slide on going into the Parabolica. That's going to leave him now. Sedgley's got it done. That's going to leave him with Rudolph Nagel right beside him on this run down now into turn 1. Rudolph slots in behind Daniel Sedgley. He's going to use the overspeed to stay in front of McCutcheon. Oh, McCutcheon there, slip up at Parabolica. For McCutcheon, that pulled Sedgley, that allowed Sedgley through and Nagel. Come on, Sedgley, says Potato. 21 minutes left. 21 minutes on the clock. Here in the Radical Sim Racing Endurance, 2 hours of Monza, 2 hours, 90 minutes of Monza. And at the moment, Daniel Sedgley, Rudolph Nagel and John McCutcheon are battling away at the front three. Stefan Mellis is into the pits. Ooh, this is going to be so tight. So tight. Front three. Nagao, McCutcheon's looking to try to come back inside the Parabolica. Not this time. Sedgley's managing to hold on to it. Nagao's pit stop. What a strategy to be jumping. Taking a pit stop 3 seconds slower and jumping the two leaders. And then gets himself involved in this. Is Nagao going to be looking at going up? He might have to fuel save. We know that. I think from Nagao's point of view, he may have to do a little bit because I think his time was so much quicker. We'll stay on board at Nagao for his lap and see if he does lift. Yep. He does. See him again here if he's going to do this for the rest of the lap. It looks like he might have to do a bit. As I say, his pit stop was 3 seconds quite quicker than the guys in front. Oh, Nagao there gets all out of shape. He's now got to try and use them to get back up. Too much speed into Lesmo too. I think the fuel savings now is going to go completely out the window for Nagao. He needs to catch him back up to be making any headway here. Larson and Matheson. Mellis is back into the pits, he goes. But Hutchison's cleared Sedgley going into the Parabolica. I think Sedgley's going to be coming back at him. Sedgley now looking at coming down into turn one. Nothing doing this time around, Larson. Nothing over Matheson. Oh, Larson gets a slide on that allows Matheson to go through. McCutcheon and Sedgley now going to be running side by side into Bassano. Nagao's now back on the back of him. Now he can do what he wants to do the first time. Listen, I know it's a double-edged sword, Mr. Hedgecock, but you need to, he's got to do one to be able to do the other. He's got to try and stay with him to fuel save, which may seem crazy, but he has. Can't let him get away. If he lets him get away, I think he may be under pressure with his 3 second stop as well. Don't forget his pit stop was 3 seconds quicker. Yeah. There's Rudolph Nagao in third. His pit stop was 20.4. 23.5, 22.3. So yeah, it is a double-edged sword, but at the same time, he's got to do it, and that's the thing. Oh, McCutcheon with a little puff of smoke there. So now here comes Sedgley down the start-finish straight. Sedgley's pulled out in front of us. Nagao's lifting at 200. Sedgley's through on McCutcheon. We saw that happen right in front of us there. Still going backwards and forwards. Yeah, I know. It definitely is, mate. I fully agree with you that he's got to push to be able to make his strategy work, and that's the thing. It's the weirdest scenario ever. The fact that you've got to push to be able to fuel save, but that's kind of what Nagao's got to do, because otherwise he can't. 16 minutes on the clock now. Oh, Nagao, Nagao. Nagao! No, Nagao! Oh, that is the end of that one for Rudolph Nagao. Straight back to the pits as well. Nagao got all out of shape and he just couldn't hold it. Such a shame. Watch here. Grass, he checks up. Oh, I need to get a little bit further back. See if I can watch it from about here. So this is where they overtook. I want to catch what Nagao does. This is where Sechi's cleared McHutchinson. But if you have a look at Nagao, he gets out of shape into the second Lesmo. And unfortunately, he just can't recover. And we'll be able to see how it materializes from here. So this is the run down into the second Variante. Everything looks comfortable at the moment for Nagao. He brakes, he's fine, he's there, he's down into second over the curb. Now this is where the problems start. Comes through the second Lesmo. Through Lesmo 1. Runs wide, hits the gravel, slides, gets it on. Back on the gas, brakes on the grass. And then that is it. Straight in. Oh. And torpedo straight into the barrier. So there we go. Unfortunately, now we're back with just the two, John McHutchison, Daniel Sedgley, and that is Damien G in front of us. Mapperson and Larson, the gap's down to, well, it was down to 3 seconds. The 3.8 is now back out to 4. John McHutchison using the toe of Damien G there. I think G's going to slowly start realising. Yep, he did. He realised and got out of the way for Daniel Sedgley. McHutchison approached that corner quite quickly. Here we go. Daniel Sedgley now. I wonder if he's going to be able to get back up. He's got half a second at the moment. Poor Rudolf Nagao, though. He was doing so well. And is now down the order and out. Poor Nagao. So here we go. Nagao all the way down into 14th. Still driving, but I will say he's under fear of being lapped. They are the leaders. There is Rudolf Nagao. Rudolf Nagao is under pressure of being lapped currently, which must be a horrible situation to be in, considering 2 laps ago he was fighting with the leader. 1 lap later, he's possibly about to be lapped. Unless he can try and stay in front, but it's a tall order. Must be horrible for Rudolf Nagao to know that these 2 giants are coming through on top of him. John is just going to use him, tow him down the start-finish straight. He's moved over. John realised he's moving over because he's not in there. And Nagao has just been lapped down in 14th place. Oh, McHutchison's got a slide. Here comes Sedgley. Sedgley's now running around Bassano. Bousson's in the pits again. Sedgley now running down into the second Variante with Nagao in front. It looks like they're freeway, but clearly it's not. McHutchison's going to be looking at going up into the second Variante. We go. Is there going to be space left? Yeah! That was close on the nose of Daniel Sedgley. You've come back right really at the wrong point because he's just lost a position to McHutchison. 10 minutes remaining on the clock and Mike Bousson is in the pits. He's currently out now. Didn't take tyres. Must have just topped up with fuel. But he was in there for a long time for a 10-minute top-up. So there we go. Nagao is lapped. I cannot believe that he's actually been lapped. Such a shame for Rudolf Nagao. Kettle Larsen coming into the Parabolica behind Matheson. These guys got the gap down to 3 seconds. Got to try and work together. They have to work together. If anybody can get them, they've got to work together to be able to catch up to the back. They've got Rudolf Nagao in the middle that might be able to help them out with a tow, but to catch them two leaders, they've got to be working together over the last 10 minutes. They cannot afford to fight as Daniel Sedgley and John McHutchinson are currently. Here we go. Second Variante now on his looming. Actually just sits in 9 minutes remaining on the clock. On the exit we go. Oh, Sedgley. This has been such a good race. It has, hasn't it? 9 minutes on the clock, though. Oh, Colin Wynne, Guy Robinson. Colin got so close to Guy coming out the second Lesmo there. Colin on the right, Guy on the right, Colin on the left now. Under the bridge we go into Ascari. I think Wynne's going to allow him to have it. They're going to try it. Wynne is through. He's managed to stop the car. Colin Wynne up 8 places into 16th. Daniel Sedgley's cleared John McHutchinson, but I think McHutchinson's going to be coming back at him down the start-finish straight. Sven Young Matheson now. McHutchinson pulls out. Car number 69. Sedgley in 11. He's slotted back in again. Swapping positions once more. I've lost count how many times that has been. Oh, look at Colin Wynne literally hugging the pit wall. He's got to come back on, though, because there's grass there. There's the grass. Colin's had to come back on track. He's defending hard from Guy Robinson into turn 1. Oh, nothing doing this time. But these guys going backwards and forwards as well. Running up now from Curva Pisano into the second Variante. Colin Wynne and Guy Robinson sends Guy Robinson to the outside now. Robinson on the outside. Oh, he's cooked it. Cooked it. Watch the bumps. Where's Wynne? There is Wynne. Robinson's going to have a 0.8 or near enough of a slowdown. Larsen, Scott past Matheson. And McHutchinson and Sedgley are still back at it again. 7 minutes on the clock. Sedgley's through yet. He's now back behind him. Into the Parabolica. Kyriakopoulos is 9 seconds down the road. Here we go. Here he comes again. Sedgley. On the left-hand side this time on this run down into turn 1. McHutchinson on the right, Sedgley on the, well, they're on the right and the left now. McHutchinson holds on just. Sedgley takes the better line though. He's taking the racing line through. On this run now, up into the second Variante we go. McHutchinson. Oh, Sedgley on the brakes. Wow, John takes a bit of curve there. There's Larsen, there's Matheson, there's Nagao in the middle. Don't forget Nagao has been lapped, which I know is a shock, but it has. He had an accident in that very corner coming into here, into Lesmo 2, just went straight on, braked on the grass, got out of shape, and unfortunately went torpedoing into the barrier. What a battle this has been between these two absolute giants in the SR10. Incredible. Kiriakopoulos now chasing down Michael LeMay. See how this one pans out. Oh, Sergi looks like he's got a little bit of a tidier run. Gaps down to about 1.9. Here he goes again. 5 minutes on the clock. Sergi pulls out once again. He's got that inside line this time. This should run him down into turn 1. Sedgley's through. Sedgley is through again. Not long left. Matheson still chasing down Larson. They're coming on to Nagao, which is going to be a kick in the teeth for Rudolf Nagao to see people going past him. Kiriakopoulos is pushing on to the back of Michael LeMay. Paul LeMay has got Mike Bousson for company. Don't forget, Mike has been into the pits twice. So there it goes, Bousson through. Kiriakopoulos, will he clear Michael LeMay? Because obviously they're in different classes. No real obligation to do so. Michael can defend as much as he wants. So, see how this one pans out for these guys as they're coming running up into the Parabolica. Kiriakopoulos on the left-hand side there in the orange and blue. And goes through on the inside. Job done. Sedgley and McHutchinson now. Coming around the Parabolica down the start-finish straight. We're going to have one and one more. Look at Michael LeMay. He's having another go at Kiriakopoulos. Not this time. John McHutchison now coming down into turn 1. There's going to be one more lap there. Rudolf Nagao pulled over. Look at the guys behind. They're 1.6 behind. What? There's an accident. Oh, no. There was an incident with Larson. Here's Larson going into the chicane. Oh, did that slow Matheson? No. He bumped too much of the curb. But the gap is now down to 2.3. They just got it down to 1.6, did Larson. Oh, such a shame. They were doing so well, the guys from IGL and Slow-Mo. Oh, McHutchison's just bounced the curb. He bounced the curb on the entry to Ascari. And now the gap's out at 8 tenths. This is going to be nearly, I think they're going to, this actually will be the final lap, only just. I think this is it. I think Sedgley's got it. That mistake by McHutchison could have just cost him. Barney's taking a night off, clearly. Doesn't feel like waving anymore. I love it when Barney just does that. He just takes the night off. He's like, nah, not going to wave the flag tonight. You guys are on your own. So there we go. 1 minute 10 on the clock. McHutchison has dropped back. This is Sedgley's to lose. Daniel Sedgley will lose this. McHutchison may lose second place because look at Matheson. Is this going to be Matheson involved in another nail-biting 0.01 finish with McCutcheon? Can Matheson stay with him going on this run up into Ascari? Sedgley looks like he's off now. I think this is Sedgley's win. I think this could be Sedgley's win. Question is, can McCutcheon hold on? He's got to try and break. Oh, John. Oh! That's Daniel Sedgley. Oh, Matheson's gone round. Daniel Sedgley takes the victory. Barney's having an eye off. He's not even waving the checkered flag. He's turned around and said, nope, my arms are folded. Sven Young's in the pits. Larson passed Matheson. He tried to ride that line. Oh, no. Oh, he got going again, but and then went into the pits. He's finished in 4th place anyway. But Daniel Sedgley takes the victory. There is Sedgley doing the celebratory donuts. There he is, burning away. Oh, Potato, you did it again. Oh, Potato, what you been up to? Graham Brown doing donuts on the grass as well. The results will be shortly in. We'll just wait for all the guys to cross the line. Potato, what are you up to? Right. Trying to lighten the rules for you there, Potato, so you can come back in. But Daniel Sedgley takes the victory here this evening. And I think you're going to all admit it's been an absolute barnstorm celebrating. Behave yourself. No, Nightbot does not like it. Daniel Sedgley in 1st place. John McCutcheon in 2nd. Kettle Larson 3rd. Paul Crabb in 4th. Sven Young Matheson in 5th. Stephen Place in 6th. David Walters in 7th. Mike Bousson 8th. Paul LeMay down in 9th and winner of the AMS. Congratulations to Paul. Absolutely stellar job. David Rollison in 10th. Paul Clark in 11th. Kyriakopoulos in 12th. Michael LeMay in 13th. Rudolph Nagel in 14th. Graham Brown 15th. Colin Wynn 16th. Guy Robinson 17th. David Harney down in 18th place. Beyond that, Byron Crawford down in 19th. Damien G in 20th. Stephen Mellis 21st. Marek Regic didn't complete the race in 22nd. Sergio Capella 23rd. Gary Truby 24th. Taya Sattenberg in 25th. And Marnik Heisto got caught up at the beginning in 26th. Unbelievable. Right. We're going to have a chat with the gentleman who took 3rd place. Kel Larson. Good evening, Mr. Larson. How are you, sir?
I'm really tired. This was a really hard race.
Yeah, I bet you are, bud, as well. It looked like, you know, you guys were having a barnstorming battle. You know, the 4 of you up front, the 5 of you even with Nagel as well, were absolutely going at it, hammer on tongue. You know, after the pit stops, you had a little bit further back gap. And then at the end, the gap was closing. It was down to 1.6. And there was a driver that made an error in the chicane, Mr. Larson.
I know him.
that dropped you back to 2.3, and then you recovered into 3rd place after Sven Young made his mistake going into the last corner. But, you know, unbelievable race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really unbelievable, and I feel so sorry for Sveinung losing it in the last corner. If it wasn't for him, he had so good pace in the car on the straight, so I was lucky to hang on to him and catch the other guys.
Yeah, that's the thing. You were kind of pulling each other so closer and closer to John and Daniel up front that I thought the last lap was going to be a four-way shootout. You know, what happened in the first chicane? Because it looked like you just ran in too deep and took too much on the sausage curb on the left-hand side.
Yeah, you know, when you see the tents going your way and you try to push a little bit more every time.
Yeah.
And I pushed a little bit too hard, and the tires are really bad at the end.
Yeah, I bet, Dippy. God, it was so close. You know, it was coming down and coming down and coming down, and I just really honestly thought you were going to catch up with them. But look, an amazing third place, as always, there, Kel. Great to have you in the booth, as always. Is there anyone you want to give a shout-out to before you leave?
Yeah, of course, my team, IGL Coatings and Sande Trafikkskole, and my spotter, Lasse Sørensen, and of course, Team Slowmo. We practice a lot together, so they're great help. We push each other, and my family let me do this, and you guys make an awesome show.
Thank you very much for that one, Kel, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, I hope so.
Take care, buddy.
Yeah, bye-bye.
There you go from Kel Larsen. Him and Sven Young were closing in on the front two of John McHutchison and Daniel Sedgley until he made a mistake and kind of slowed them all up. But let's bring John McHutchison into the booth to tell us firsthand what it was like to race 90 minutes backwards and forwards with Daniel Sedgley and Rudolf Nagel at the beginning, and then just Mr. Sedgley at the end. Welcome in, John McHutchison. How are you, sir?
Good, James. How are you? That was a fun race.
Well, I don't know if fun would really, say it. I think, amazing would be a better word, John. That was just backwards and forwards all the way through.
Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? I enjoyed it. I hope Daniel enjoyed it as well. A couple of silly mistakes coming out of it. It's always a chicane. It's burning up the tyres. But it was good.
I love it. People in chat are like, yes, great race. What a race. Amazing race. And John just comes in and goes, yeah, it was all right.
It was all right. It'd have been better if I had won.
Yeah, but, one mistake cost you that, though, didn't it, John?
Yeah, I was setting him up for the second last lap, and I burnt up the tyres and lost over a second on him, so that was it. Game over. Then I was trying to keep... I can't say his name. Keep him behind me, and then he spun out.
Yeah, Sven Young Matheson.
That's the fella. Yeah.
And the mistake happened actually in the Ascari, John. You lost a chunk in the Ascari. You bounced off the inside curb, put the car up too much in the air, had to hit the brakes, puff of smoke come out, and then you would drop back to about 8/10, and then it just didn't look like you could recover 2 laps from the end from that.
Yeah, I hit that curb, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't think I got any damage. I think it was okay, but I possibly could have caught him up on just after the Ascari again, but no, spun up the tyres. Well, Daniel, to be fair to Daniel, he didn't put a foot wrong the whole race.
No, I would have been in the barrier a long time ago under that amount of pressure, John. I'm not going to lie. I would have, unfortunate for Rudolf Nagel, that's exactly what happened to him. So there we go. We go onwards and upwards. So, John, thank you again, as always, for joining me in the booth, and congratulations on your second place. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
Yeah, shout out to yourself, James. I hope you win this commentators competition you've entered. Good luck. And shout out to all the guys on the track.
Yeah, hopefully it's dependent on the public vote, John, if I can get into the nomination, into the final 5. It's like the Oscars. It's like the Simmies is the Oscars of the iRacing world, or sim racing world.
Okie dokie.
Yes.
Good luck then.
Yeah, I know. It closes very shortly. A little bit worried. But there we go, John. Thank you again for joining me. And as always, it's a pleasure. And I look forward to talking to you soon.
Yeah, thanks again, James.
Take care. Right, we are going to bring in Paul LeMay. Oh, hi, sorry, Potato. I didn't see your message till late. Paul LeMay is your AMS victor this morning. I've gone forward this evening. Good evening, Paul. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, thanks, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Unfortunately, we had Daan was supposed to be in the booth, and we lost Daan at the beginning due to his mic wouldn't work correctly, and it kept cutting him in and out, and then it just wouldn't come back on at all. So they've had me for the full 90 minutes. I'm going to be careful what I say because I said that the other day in a broadcast and completely got my analogy wrong. So I'm going to be careful there. But Paul, not a bad race, was it, all the way through?
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. Just tried to qualify well, tried to kind of stick with the faster guys for a bit and try and stay in the tow and build a gap to the guys behind. And then just really try and manage it, really. Just really pleased with the result.
Oh, yeah, you took the victory in the AMS. I would be pleased as well, to be fair, buddy. You were one of the interesting things I saw is a couple of times when we picked you up, you were locked in battles with the pros. There was a couple of behind by Busan and things like that. One of the things I want to ask you about is, do you not fight the pros because they're in a different class or because they're faster? What's the situation?
It's more to do with knowing what pace I can go out and keep the tyres in and not overdrive. I can keep them for a few laps, but then they'll start to just eke out. So they're definitely faster. It's more of a case of not wanting to spoil their fight as well, but just try and keep to a pace that I know I can do. So, for instance, Mike and I think Steve came past, and I think I was with Mike for a bit, then Steve came past, then I sort of just tried to manage my tyres a bit more and just be a bit careful. But I don't think I can live with those guys on a full-on, full-on sort of attack, as it were. They've definitely got the edge. But we're working on it. We're working on it, mate.
I don't know, Paul. I'd love to have seen you go head-to-head with Mike Buson and, David Waters and Paul Crabb, because you qualified in where was you? In sixth?
Six. Yeah, sixth.
You were already there.
Yeah. As I say, I just really want to make sure that I get the result that I need in the AMS and just do enough to sort of get there without pushing it and throwing the race away. But, over the sort of sprint races, they definitely have got the edge. I don't have the consistency that they have, lap in, lap out. So that's where they sort of are that bit faster. It's just the sheer consistency of them. They're sort of like robots.
Yeah, they do it lap after lap, don't they? And I can't do that.
I can't do it, mate. Not yet, anyway.
Well, you read my official report earlier on from the first race I did for ages in an SR10, mate, and you saw how that went. You know what I mean?
Oh, mate, yeah, it's tough out there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's for somebody who barely sits in the car, mate. You know what I mean? It's always going to be tough. But look, overall, dude, you took the victory in the AMS, so that's a massive step forward. This is the end. I believe this is the end of the first part of the season. Before we pick up, isn't it, again in January?
Yep.
I'm sure that
I think so.
Yeah, they're in discussions about that. I don't think there's any more endurance because this was the final one before we go into January when we look at restarting again because of the Christmas break. So, you go in there in the lead. Yep. Well, that's always good.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that's 4 wins I've had now. So I've got to say Dave was keeping me honest there for a bit, and I managed just to manage the gap. But he was giving me a bit of a worry.
Yeah, you've got 4 pole positions. 2 of the fastest laps, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 wins. It would be today.
Yeah.
So there you go. Stunning job.
Yeah.
Happy with that. Michael was in 3rd as well, so we've got the LeMays on podium.
Yeah, our first sort of race we've been on the podium together, as it were. Unfortunately, Mike got cramp in his leg on lap 14, and he just held on as long as he could. So, big shout out to him, really.
What a trooper!
Yeah.
He finished third on the podium, 13th overall, and did 52 laps. And 14 of them, he only had one, well, not 14, 14 of them, he was fine. And the other, I can't do quick maths at this time of night, didn't really work out. He was in a lot of pain. So big shout out to Michael Lameda.
Yeah,
40
he
laps,
did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely stellar. Anyone, as always, Paul, you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth?
Well, to Big Brother, really, for doing a good job and getting third.
Sergio's just put in chat, actually, we'll have another round on the 27th.
No, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, but we'll see.
It's the 27th.
It's a Sunday,
2 weeks' time.
Yeah, 2 weeks' time. We'll see what I can do.
Oh, come on, Paul. Priorities,
we'll see
Paul.
what we can do.
To say to the wife, James says I've got a race. See what she says.
I'll be there, mate. Don't worry.
All right, buddy. No worries. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Massive shout out to Michael as well for finishing third. And always a pleasure, bud. And I look to speak to you next week.
Take care, mate.
Take care, buddy. Bye. Well, there you go, guys. As well, Ben Knox. I cannot understand that. So thank you so much. Is there an age limit to the league, Sandro, on that one? So I'll leave that into the hands there as well. But thank you so much for joining me this evening. Appreciate you've just had me. Unfortunately, we did lose Dan Pepels to sound issues that he could not get working right at the beginning, and it was working, and it just didn't work. It stopped working. So he gave up trying. So thank you so much for sticking with me for the whole 90 minutes. Much love to everybody. Potato as well. Phil across the pond. Thank you so much. Ben Knox for jumping in. Thank you again. Henning Haig, as always a pleasure. Didn't see you tonight, so no overtaking from you. Adam Hedgecock, thank you so much for joining me. Florent Capel as well, come in and watch Rudolf Nagel right at that point go into the barrier, unfortunately. Frank as well, thank you again as always for coming in and saying hello. And Daniele Cascado, get well soon, brother. Much love to you. And there's Dan Peoples in there. So sorry guys, mic's not working. Mappus as well. Thank you again as well. So that rounds out tonight's broadcast, guys. And all that's left for me to say as well is you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.